In this video, we will demonstrate how to wire the simulation kit to various controllers, like the wired remote controller, the touch centralized controller and the DVM S 2.5 controller. First, we will connect the wired remote controller. In order to do so we need some tools and supplies. A cross screwdriver and a communication cable with 4 connectors at both ends. The wired remote controller is connected to indoor unit through F3-F4 communication. Be sure to turn off power, then wire F3-F4 of indoor unit to F3-F4 of wired remote controller. The F3-F4 block is located on the back of the wired remote controller. New wired remote controllers receive both power from the indoor unit and communication through the F3-F4 terminals. So you do not need to connect the power cable. Turn the power onto the simulation kit. The wired remote controller will power it up and start tracking the indoor units that are connected with it. The wired remote controller should display the quantity of indoor units, in this example 3. Then the wired remote controller will display the initial page. Now you can program the wired remote controller. Second, we will wire the touch centralized controller. In order to do wiring, we will need some tools and supplies. A cross screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, electrical tape, communication cable and a power cord. The touch centralized controller should be connected to the outdoor unit through R1-R2 communication terminals. It could also be connected to indoor unit through F1-F2 communication terminals. In this video, we will demonstrate wiring through F1-F2 communication. First, turn power off to simulation kit, then wire F1-F2 of indoor unit to F1-F2 of touch centralized controller. The F1-F2 block of the touch centralized controller is located on the back. The touch centralized controller should be connected with a dedicated power supply. The power block is located in back of the controller. Connect the wiring from the power cord to the power block. After wiring the power cord, you must cover the power block with electrical tape to prevent electric shock. Power up the simulation kit and touch centralized controller. Then, touch centralized controller will display the initial settings screen of language selection. After making this selection, you can program the touch centralized controller. Last, we will wire the DVM S 2.5. In order to wire the DVM S 2.5, we need some tools and supplies. A cross screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, a communication cable, a PC, a LAN cable and a power cord. A power cord is included in DVM S 2.5 package. The DVM S 2.5 should be connected to outdoor unit through R1-R2 communication. Turn off power to the simulation kit. Then, wire the communication cable to the R1-R2 of outdoor unit and R1-R2 of DVM S 2.5. The R1-R2 block of DVM S 2.5 is located in front of the controller on the lower right-hand side. Connect the power cord and LAN cable in the proper places in the front of the DVM S 2.5. The LAN cable should also be connected to the PC. Turn the power on for this simulation kit and DVM-S 2.5. The DVM-S 2.5 will load the OS and application. After these steps, you can access the DVM-S 2.5. To access the DVM-S 2.5, you need to change your computer's IP address. In order to set the IP address, use the following steps. In this window, if the DVM-S 2.5 IP is 192.168.0.100, you should change the PC IP to 192.168.0.xxx. The XXX in the last octet can equal anything other than 100. In this example, the last octet cannot be 100 as it would overlap with the DVM-S 2.5. Open Internet Explorer and input the DVM-S 2.5 IP in the address bar. It is important to add S after the HTTP. If it will display HTTP, an error will occur. The first time you access the DVM-S 2.5, a security certificate warning message will appear. You can disregard this message and access the DVM-S 2.5. However, if the certificate is not registered, this message will appear every time it is accessed. If you want to skip adding the certificate, click here. Finally, the login page is displayed, allowing you to access the DVM-S 2.5. Samsung hopes that you enjoyed using this simulation kit. It is suggested to practice multiple times, so that you feel comfortable wiring and configuring Samsung controllers.